Daniel Andrews and Chris Whitman have been fishing the waters of Florida for years, and their mission these days is not just about catching fish.
Yes, obviously they want to catch the fish, but they have some other things in mind. Their mission is also about keeping the waterways clean. Here with more from Captains for Clean Water is Daniel Andrews and also Chris Whitman. I'm so happy to welcome you guys to the show this morning.
Thanks for having us.
We're glad to be here.
So talk about Captains for Clean Water. You know, you spent some time, you are both born and raised here in Florida, spent a lot of time out on the waterways, but you noticed something a little different over the last couple of years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm born and raised here, as is Daniel. I've been guiding as a fishing guide here for 18 years now, and fishing these waters my entire life. And so I've progressively seen degradation in the quality of the water and the habitat. I've seen a lot of grass flats that were lush and healthy that have disappeared and are now nothing but mud and sand, as has Daniel. And you know, you're what, 25 years old? To see a change in ecosystems in that short of a period of time is very alarming, and it's really a sign of the speeding up of collapse of that system.
Yeah, and as you were saying, Amy, we're also passionate about the water here and where we live, and you know, this is our home. So what does it mean being someone, you know, being born and raised here, and to see that kind of deteriorating and changing out there in such a negative way?
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking what we've all witnessed. You know, for those of us that just drive over the bridge once or twice a week, you don't really see it, but when we're out on the water every day and you see the oyster bars and grass flats, you know, just slowly withering away, they don't have a chance to recover, and then we'll experience more of the horrible discharges like we experienced last year at this time.
Yeah.
And it kills those oysters and the seagrass. They're not natural. That's not the way the system was created. You know, man went in there and drained the Everglades and diverted the flow of water, so now the Caloosahatchee and St. Lucie River get way too much water, fresh water, and Florida Bay at the southern end of the system only receives about 20% of the water it once did, which resulted in a 50,000 acre seagrass die-off in late 2015, which was, I mean, that's a lot of grass, that's a lot of ecosystem being removed.
Well, and we want to fix this, obviously. You know,
Yes,
we were chatting too during the break. I was kind of hanging around your Facebook page, and I noticed it's kind of somewhat, maybe I would say, a controversial topic in a way. I saw kind of both directions of different comments being made. But what do you really want people to know about going forward and what we can do to make this better?
Yeah.
So over the last 17 years that the Comprehensive Everglades Restoration Plan has been in place, policymakers and water managers have focused on ancillary projects that don't really address the root of the problem. The root of the problem is we're not getting enough clean fresh water flowing into Florida Bay. You know, we can talk about projects and look at graphs and numbers and confuse about anybody, but really the heart of this problem is the fact that the Everglades is not getting enough water, and it's going east and west. So we want people to realize that until we fix that problem, until we can buy enough land south of Lake Okeechobee and create the treatment and conveyance, we won't have a solution. You know, all these other projects can look really appealing, but I always ask, what % better is this project going to make our estuary?
Well, we want to learn so much more about you. I know you have some events coming up. We're out of time, but you can head to your Facebook page. I know online you have a lot of information. You were spending some time talking to some second graders and at some schools. And an event coming up in April and also March as well. So where should they go? Facebook?
Yeah, you can go to our Facebook page, Captains for Clean Water, or you can visit our website, captainsforcleanwater.org.
Chris, Daniel, thank you both so much. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
For more information, head online to our website for more on Captains for Clean Water. But we're checking back in with our artist, our painter, Michael Monroe. It's looking gorgeous. He can make you feel like you are enjoying this paradise outside just by looking through his painting. Amy Lynn, what do you think? Checking back in to see that masterpiece here in just a second. Stay with us.